Hey, hi guys. Hope everyone is doing okay today. Welcome to Infuriated, where we'd love to tickle your Elmo and lick your weenus. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter F for fuck you and the number 1 for how many F's are in Halfurious's name. And here's our degenerate host, Halfurious. This interview contains mildly inappropriate and entertaining material meant only to distract and humor the masses with a silent M. Audio discretion is advised.
All right, thank you. Welcome everybody to the show. I appreciate you guys showing up and listening to us rant for the next half hour or so. Mental, who is our guest tonight?
Oh, yes, I'd like to introduce to you this hot little mama who I think is on the market. Here is available Vaela.
Hello.
Hello, Vaela. How are you tonight?
Oh, I am doing good. How are y'all?
Good. So, I just want to thank everybody, the producers that helped make our show happen. Vaela, thank you for showing up and doing this. But we all know that you're not mic shy after your performance last week.
Thank you. My windpipes were ready for you guys.
All right, well, I hope your windpipes are ready tonight. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and deep dive into the questions that I have for you this evening. And the first one, I think, is really inspired since we're coming up on Valentine's Day tomorrow. Tell me, Vaela, what is your love language?
Literally do nothing, and I will be the happiest little camper. I suck at gift giving. Words of affirmation are not my thing, and I don't like touchy feelings, so it's definitely quality time where we just get to sit and chill out.
Right, like on opposite ends of the couch.
I mean, we can be close together, but I just don't want anyone like up on my bubble. Maybe that's because I have a toddler that thinks I'm her jungle gym.
Right. Okay. So how about you tell me this? What is the worst and best pickup line that you've ever had used on? Like, something nice shoes. Want to fuck?
I think, as cheesy as it is, I think one of like the best ones, I think it's just because it caught me so off guard, was I had a dude tell me that if I was a booger, he'd pick me first.
That's great. Yes.
That one caught me off guard, and ever since then, nothing can ever top that. But the worst one I've ever heard, and I feel like it's so overused, is, "Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see."
Oh, for fuck's sake. We need to start having a weekly dad joke. Some of these are horrible, those pick ones. Okay, so Vaela, tell me about your handle. What does it mean? Where does it come from?
So are we talking just my regular everyday handle or strictly Game of Thrones handle?
Your Game of Thrones handle.
So it would not let me use my regular handle because, quote unquote, ladies do not use foul language, even though my handle is typically Martini Spadini. But with Vaela, I wanted something that fit in with the Game of Thrones theme, name-wise, and I didn't want to do, the Rhaenyra, the Cersei, all those. So I was just like, let me remix a little something, and I thought it sounded cool, so I stuck with it.
Okay. So, how long have you been playing Game of Thrones, and what keeps you playing?
I think I started back in August, and I think the thing that really keeps me going is my teammates, because they are very helpful. Any questions I have, whether it's stupid or legit, you guys are always there to, give me little tips and tricks. You guys keep it fun, funky, fresh. It's truly never a dull moment with you guys. And every time I log onto that game, I just look forward to everything that y'all say that's unhinged, whether that be in our Alliance chat or our Kingdom chat. And it's never-ending entertainment, to say the least.
The 3 Fs. What were they again? Fun, funky, and fresh. All right. So, what would you say, back on you, what would you say is the quickest way to your heart, Vaela? What is the one thing that if a guy does it, you're just like head over heels or ass over tea kettle, whichever way you want to look at it?
Quickest way to make me the happiest camper is providing me a bottle of Captain Morgan. You know, they say tequila makes her pants come off. No, it's Captain Morgan.
Okay, so get you drunk. That's the quickest way to your heart. I think we might have different definitions of heart, but that's okay, baby.
You could say whiskey makes you frisky.
I mean that too, obviously.
Yes.
So, if that's the quickest way to your heart, what is it that are you one of them girls that blushes? Like, what is it that makes you blush?
Oh man, the quickest thing to make me blush is if they just do something that's out of random of, well, I was thinking of you, and so I sent you the song. I sent you something that reminded me of you, and the Pisces in me loves that. It's just, oh, well, you thought of me, so now I'm head over heels in love with you.
Right. So you're kind of into the whole astrology thing, right?
I dabble.
Yeah, you dabble. So I noticed that, like, in your introduction on the pages, you listed, like, I don't know, it was like word salad of astrological terms. Can you explain what those mean a little bit to us?
So your sun sign is the sign that if you're whatever month you're born in, that's your sun sign. Your moon sign is how people perceive you, and then your rising sign is your emotional aspect. And then for a little bit of funsies, I added my Mars, because Mars, it controls your impulsiveness, how feisty you are and everything like that. But the math ain't mathing with me, because I should be about 10 times more emotional than what I already, what I am. And I'm not. But I think that's because I have a lot of fire in my chart, which, if you pay attention to how to play the game, the math be math in there, because I am just a little feisty fireball.
I would agree. Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't know that much. I know I'm a Taurus. That's about all I know. Okay, so back to Game of Thrones. Let me ask you this. Who is your favorite Game of Thrones character, and why?
I would have to say my favorite would have to be Theon. Just for the character development that he went through. Granted, he kind of got shit on, but he started out just a little piece of shit, and then he went on to do. He just had a little redemption arc, and I love that for him.
I agree. He does go from a little shithead to an even more miserable shithead, and then he turns it around. That's interesting. Theon Greyjoy. Awesome. So, tell me, what is your favorite event in Game of Thrones? Like, what is the one event that you, like, really look forward to?
I would have to say it's the dragon event, or the pre-shadow, just because those are the ones I seem to do the best on, because I can research out of the ass, and I can upgrade and feed my dragon out of the ass. PvP, I'm not big enough to really participate in the PvP, because he can easily fuck me up. Whereas it takes me a minute, to get at least a little bit of wall damage on someone else.
Right. Okay. That's cool. Dragon event. You do it out the ass. Alright. So, what is the best advice that you've ever received for Game of Thrones? What is the best advice that anybody's ever given you? Like the one thing that you've like, that's it, that's what I'm going to do, and you've held on to it since you've been playing.
The best thing that someone's ever helped me out with is picking a troop to heavily, focus on. So instead of focusing on them all, focus on one, set, your main armor type around, whatever you choose, train them out, out the wazoo, and just run with it. Yeah, focus on the others, but pick your main troop type and stick with it. And I feel like that's helped me advance a little bit more within the game, is sticking strictly to one troop type instead of the others.
I'm sorry, I was accidentally muted. No, that's good advice. So, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
My height, 100%. On a good day, I am only 5 foot tall. I would love to be at least 6'3", just to get a little bird's eye view, and be able to and also be able to reach everything on the top. So.
Right. 6'3". That's a funny number, and I'll tell you all about why that's so funny to me later on. Okay, so in Game of Thrones, and we've all had these, you've seen splat reports and all that. What is your worst facepalm moment that you've had playing?
Oh man, it was pretty early on. I tried taking this little 1-star SOP, and God, it was back when, Seven and Elbow, and all those, they weren't that big group. And I had one person from whatever SOP I was trying to take, and they're like, hey, don't do that. And I was like, no, fuck you, I'm going to do it. And I did it and got the absolute shit beat out of me. And ever since then, I've learned my lesson, is play the game of taking an SOP a little bit smarter.
Okay. I think a lot of people probably made that mistake. Okay, so one more question before we hear from our sponsor. What is your profession?
I work as a ophthalmic technician for a retinal specialty. Previously, I was working for a neuro-ophthalmologist, but hated the hospital scene. So I moved back to my in-clinic retinal specialty, and I love it. I get to stab eyeballs all day long.
Stab eyeballs all day long. There are a lot of people in the medical field that play this game, I found out. Okay, so that brings us up to our heartbreak. Just got a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. Women, but not anymore. And welcome to Night's Watch Summer Getaway. Tired of the same old beach vacation? Trade your swim trunks for a cloak and come on down to Castle Black. We've got ice cold drinks and hot grilly nights. And remember, the oath of honor and celibacy. So ignore all temptation with the day of hearts coming. Though some say that the oath just means you're free to mingle without the jingle of wedding bells. So sign up for the Night's Watch today. It's the chillest commitment you'll ever make.
All right, thank you for supporting us, the Night's Watch recruitment.
Oh, that's so good. Good job.
Oh my goodness.
So, are you ready for the lightning round?
I think so.
Okay, you're familiar with the rules. I'm going to read you off a list of things. I may give you a subset of what we're talking about. We'll put 1 minute on the clock. Let's see if you can get through them. There are 12 of them. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos.
Candy or flowers?
Candy.
Infantry, cavalry, or ranged?
Infantry.
Siege or traps?
Siege.
Beer, wine, or liquor?
Liquor.
Liquor in the front, poker in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Pineapple or no pineapple?
Pineapple, but not on pizza.
Vacay or staycay?
Vacay.
All right, with your kiss, tongue or no tongue?
Depends on my mood, but 9 out of 10 times tongue.
All right, shit talk or quiet with a big stick?
Shit talk.
Hey, man.
PvP SOP or burn their keep?
SOP.
Love or lust?
Oh boy, lust.
Movies, horror or comedy?
Horror.
All right. You made it just in time. Good job, Vaela.
Hell yeah!
Okay, in Game of Thrones, I want to know the one thing when playing this game that pisses you off every single time.
Just the whining that some people do in the KC. Y'all got too much time on your hands. Just, if you're on bitch, take it to your Discord server. Shit talk on there, not on the KC. I want my shit blown up with everyone whining that someone got their keeper. It happens to all of us, and I sympathize, but shut the fuck up about it.
Ruthless.
I mean, Vaela, why don't you tell us how you really feel?
For real.
If you had a time machine, Vaela, and it only ever worked one time, you get to visit 1 year. Which year would you visit?
2016. I have to say Harambe.
Okay, 2016, huh?
Yeah, that's when everything went to hell. So if I feel like I'd travel there, save the gorilla,
Put the kid on a kid leash.
life might be a little... Exactly.
Kid leash would have solved all of it. Just saying.
Exactly.
I am that mom.
So, what about...
Yoink 'em.
Say that one more time, Vaela. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, if you have a kid on your leash, you can just yoink 'em. It's easy control.
Amen.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What is your favorite Game of Thrones memory?
My favorite one is when Ramsay got fed to his dog. That was just made my heart so happy.
Justice. Poetic justice.
Exactly. It was just, he was so confident that, that his hounds were loyal to him, and then he was, their child that night. It was, made my heart so happy.
Okay. I kind of felt the same way whenever Joffrey was being poisoned.
Oh, yes. That was a good one, too. Fuck 'em.
You kind of scared me a little bit, though, Vaela. Movies, like when people dead the dogs, fuck everybody. Okay.
No whining about it.
Not everybody. Yeah. My favorite moment in the KC, though, was when we all dogged on that one lady.
Yes.
Just for being batshit crazy. That was just a community coming together.
Nothing brings
I loved
together faster.
That is hilarious. Okay. So you have a lot of tattoos. Tell me about your favorite one. What does it mean?
So my favorite one is actually on my collarbone, and that one is dedicated to my baby. Obviously she's my heart, my soul, my everything. So that one has to be my favorite. But without any sort of sentimental value, it would have to be my Nubis that is on one of my sleeves. He is just gorgeous. He's just a gorgeous boy. He healed up so nice, and I'm obsessed with him. 3 years later, he's just my favorite piece besides the one I have dedicated to my crotch goblin.
Okay. All right. So, tell me, Mental had said at the beginning of the show that he thought you might be available. Is that true?
No. No, this mama is not on the market. You can look, but you can't touch.
I think that's all we can do, honestly, at this point.
Right.
But I might make an exception for Mental.
Yes.
Oh,
Winning.
so, damn.
Oh, yeah, Ethel, too. Gotta invite Ethel. She's our main squeeze.
Yeah. Oh, my mama's here.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the worst date you ever had. Everybody's got a horrible dating story. I think women have more horrible dating stories than men because, like, we go out and we think we rock it every time. Tell me about it.
So this was a little bit before I started dating my current significant other. Me and this gentleman, we went out to, eat. He wanted, everything was going well there. We went out to eat. We, did some arcade games afterwards, had a really good time. And then, of course, he was like, hey, let's go Netflix and chill. And I was like, okay, bet, tis the season. And he didn't tell me that he lived with his parents. And he didn't tell me that they'd be home and, wanted to meet their future daughter-in-law. And promptly left right after that. That's not dogging on him for living in the mama's basement. Economy's tough. It was just the fact that I didn't want to be referred to as a daughter-in-law when I barely met your son in person for, 3 hours prior.
Yeah, that escalated pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When you know, you know.
Well, that's true. Let me ask you this, Vaela. If your life had a theme song, like mine would be like Highway to Hell, okay? If life had a theme song, what would yours be?
Not Highway to Hell.
Mine would definitely be X Gonna Give It To You.
Yes.
Dude, that's a good answer.
Thank you.
So, tell me about, what's your dragon's name? And is there any story there?
So his name is Ator, and there's not really any story to it. I just looked up dragon names on good old Google, saw that, and I was like, oh, that's a tough name. This is what I'm going to name my tough little baby, and I've stuck with it, and I've noticed that Mr. Flute also named his dragon Ator, but that's neither here or there.
Okay. So whose dragon was named that first? Yours or Flute's? I mean, who's the copycat?
I think it's him. I think his dragon was named Piccolo, and then it changed, but, I'll let him have his moment. Okay. Until I can find someone to fuck him up for me, I'll let him have his moment, respectfully.
Just every time you talk to him, just tell him not to fall asleep. He loves that. Okay.
Definitely. I'll tell him sleep with one eye open, good sir.
Okay. The chat's funny. What people are saying in chat. Okay. So, I've got just a couple more little questions for you. You told us what your theme song would be. Tell us what if somebody was writing a book about you, what would be the title of your biography?
Almost beat teen pregnancy. That would be my biography 100%, and then the rest is just filler, unhinged shit.
Okay. All right. So here's our last question for you this evening. Okay. And I've saved the absolute most important and best question for last. So everybody that stayed in our audience to listen, this one question is going to make the past 25 minutes of your life worth it all. You ready, Vaela?
Yes.
Okay. If you were a stripper, what would your stage name be?
Milk chocolate.
What the fuck? Milk chocolate. I have never heard a stripper's name. Milk chocolate.
Her milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard.
Those will love this. They would love it.
They'd want a bite of that cookie.
Exactly. Or it would be milk and cookies, too, because that's also very, very relevant.
He's like, I'll supply the milk, you supply the cookie.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. When you get done, Vaela, I strongly encourage you to go into the chat and take a look at some of the people's response to that question.
V just asked if she was just the dumpster. I'm like, you can't be the cum dumpster. We love you.
Mouth in your mouth, not your hand. Now, speaking of that, I think my stage song would be definitely Candy Shop. I mean, that's fitting too.
Ooh, stage song and yes.
Man, that was a twofer. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to thank everybody for coming on. I appreciate everybody shouting out. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Keep it together, Al.
Thank you to all of our producers that help make the show happen, and everybody behind the scenes that help us with the questions, with the writing, with the recording, all that. It's very much appreciated. The show is growing, and hope to see you guys next week on episode 4. Thank you.
Woo!
I had to come onto the stage.
Hopey, you're f***ing it up in there. I love that.
The chat was crazy tonight. Oh my god.
Let's do shows how many times?
Oh my
Hot
God.
damn.
With the speaker. Not my speaker. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Thank you. Bran, yes, Bran.
Let me ask if anyone wants to talk on stage. If you
Oh, get off the stage. Rude.
if you want to talk on stage, raise your hand and we can have a little discussion after the show. But the stripper question caught me so off guard, bro. I tried to say that was brilliant.
I'm going through reading all the stuff. Oh God. Flute wielding menace. God. Okay. You guys are so
Okay,
great.
I'm gonna get off the stage now, but I have to be so weak.
All right. Well, I guess there's no more questions.
Oh my goodness.
Tonight.
Oh, the chat was on fire. I love it.
Oh, Mom. Hey, thank you very much tonight, Mental. You did a great job. Vaela, thank you for showing up. You did a great job. I love the answer to your questions. Hit our time mark. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Bye.